Scale drawings find the missing measurements. This is a digital lesson. It talks about similar figures. So it starts out explaining what similar figures are. They're geometric figures in which the corresponding sides are in proportion. We call these scale drawings. So it starts with explaining to students what corresponding sides are. So you want to see that the two figures are facing the same direction, and the sides that are in the same location are called corresponding sides. So A and D, B and E, C and F. So once you explain that to the students, then they're going to determine which sides are corresponding. And they're just going to type in A and they're going to type in E here, B and F, C and G, and so on. Now, figures that are drawn to scale have corresponding measurements in proportion. So you can see here on the larger rectangle, if you compare the length to the width, 14 to 8, it's going to be equivalent to 7 to 4. And you can see that with equivalent fractions, you can see that those are equivalent. So it's just explaining to the students how that works. So 9 to 6 is going to be equivalent to 3 to 2. Now, if one of our measurements is missing, we need to be able to determine what the measurement is of that side. So there's two ways we can do that. You can solve for x using cross products or by scaling down. So here we can set up our proportions. 24 to 16 is going to be equivalent to 3 to x, and we need to solve for x. So if you do this with cross products, then you're going to multiply numbers that are diagonally across from each other. So 24 times x is going to equal 3 times 16. That gives you 24x equals 48 using algebra, and then x equals 2 if you divide both sides by 24. You can also simplify your ratios before you multiply, so that could be a little bit easier. If we simplify first, and we simplify 24/16 to 3 halves, then cross products is a lot easier. We've got smaller numbers. Or we can just scale down. So here you can see that 24 to 3, we're just dividing by 8. So if you divide the numerator by 8, you also divide the denominator by 8, and that would give you an answer of 2. So then students are given some similar figures that they're going to find the missing side. So 10 to 8 is equivalent to x to 4. They have to determine what x equals. Same thing here with two rectangles. And then some real life examples, a couple of towers, some buildings, trees and their shadows. And then we've got a couple with decimals. Now when they get to slide 16, they're going to find the missing side and then find the area of the smaller figure. Same thing here with triangles, so it gives them the formula for area of a triangle. So once they find the missing side, then they use the formula 1/2 the base times the height, and then type in the missing, or the area of the smaller figure. And then the final slide, they're just going to be moving these terms into the correct place in the sentence frames. So that gives just a review of everything that they've just done. So that is a digital lesson on scale drawings, find the missing measurements.